Mike,
I'm on the phone.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Mike, Leslie, Steve, and Bob, did you get the packet of material that was sent out to you today regarding the item added to the agenda?
Yes,
That's Bob.
I did not.
It was emailed.
Whose voice
Oh,
was
it's
that? Was that
emailed.
Mike?
That was Steve.
That was Steve.
Yeah, I got my packet.
Okay. Steve, do you have the
Oh, I-
ability to
I
go back
did-
to your email and check it?
I did get an email on the 906 Potomac.
Yes.
That's it.
I've got it.
We appreciate you adding that to the agenda for Casey's. They've got a project that's kind of taken on a life of its own. So, and Mr. Casey's been sent a copy of the staff report, and he's been sent a copy of the agenda. Okay, so he'll be the third application in the process. He has a very nice window there. All right, Mike, you ready?
I guess if everybody else is. Hang on one second, I gotta pull up my. Okay. All right. My name is Michael. Are you ready? All right. My name is Michael Gibbs.
What the hell?
What? Leslie, you need to turn down your
I don't know. These people don't know what they're doing.
There you go. You should be good now, Mike.
All right. That good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. My name is Michael Guinness, Chairman. I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Historic District Commission to order this 25th day of June 2020. There is a quorum present. The roster of the staff to the commission, of the commission members, and the technical posts that they fill in accordance with the requirements of the Hagerstown zoning ordinance are on file with the city of Hagerstown, are available on request to any applicant, and are hereby made a part of the legal record of each and every application heard today. All decisions rendered are based on the Secretary of Interior standards and guidelines as adopted by the city of Hagerstown. Each decision is made on a case-by-case basis and is not intended to be precedent-setting. If you have any cell phone or other electronic devices, please make sure they've been silenced. We have, my agenda here a second, misplaced it. Sorry, we don't have any consent agenda items for our design review cases. When your case is called, we'll ask that you join with the commission. Please, for the record, please state your name and address. There will be a brief synopsis of your application from our staff consultant. Once that's done, the floor will then be turned over to the applicant for any further elaboration. After that, the floor will then be open for discussion by the commission members prior to rendering a decision on that particular application. At this time, we have approval of the minutes for May 28, 2020 and June 11th, 2020. We'll entertain a motion to adopt unless there's any corrections, modifications, or adjustments, if so stated.
I'll move to adopt.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Actually, Leslie, if I can have you as a second, because you're the only one that has attended both of the meetings with Mr. Powell. Is Leslie still there?
Fell off.
Oh. We lost one.
Wait, she's coming back. Is she coming back in? That looks like her number there. See what? Leslie, you there? Paging Leslie?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm here.
You're there. Hey, the minutes, I need you to second the motion for the minutes for May 28, 2020 and June 11, 2020, please.
Seconded.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion approval of the minutes for May 28th, 2020 and June 11th, 2020, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries. At this time, we have design review. First up is HDC case 2020-21 for 214 North Potomac Street for Kelgard General Contracting for replacement of windows.
I'm here, Kenny Gardner, Kelgard General Contracting, 19303 Jamestown Drive.
This is HTC case 2020-21. That is Kenny Gardner with Kelgard General Contracting on behalf of the owner. Properties at 214 North Potomac Street. This is in the Potomac Broadway Historic District. Building is a key resource. It contributes to the character of the district, but is not likely to qualify for National Register listing individually. Design guidelines are pages 32 through 34 of the residential guidelines. Description of work. The applicant contractor, the general contractor replaced fire damaged windows with JELD-WEN wood W2500 double hung 2/2 windows on the second floor to the right of the bay window. The distinctive arch feature over each window in the sash was replicated with wood glued on elements. The contractor originally applied for an in-kind replacement. However, in reality, the windows are not an exact replacement and did not meet the intent of in-kind replacement. So what we did is we initially, staff recommends approval, Secretary of State's Interior Standards 2, 5, and 6 apply. Basically, the contractor, I think there's been a number of contractors kind of circled in and out of this project. Ken can probably give us a little bit more detail on that. But the property was fire damaged. A few of these unique windows were damaged pretty much beyond repair. When the first submission of materials for the renovation work was completed, we did do a certification of in-kind replacement. The intent at the time was to have custom-made wood windows made to fill into the where these fire damaged windows are. However, by the time things got from one contractor to another, these windows were put in rather than custom-made wood windows. And that kicked it out of my authority as staff to approve something or certify that something is replacement in kind, and kicked it into the purview of this board as a change. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Gardner, anything to add?
Yeah, we took this project over. It was for the W House lasting change. It was an arson situation. They had another contractor who unfortunately took advantage of them and walked away with about $150,000, and they did nothing on the project. We took it over after it was supposedly midway through, but only demo was really done. At that point, when we took them over, those two particular windows were boarded up. We, with a limited budget, initially had hoped to do those in-kind windows with the simulated grills with the arched top were just cost prohibitive. So what we were able to do is get simulated wood windows and custom arch, a wood arch, to make it essentially match the look of what's below and what was originally there. The only difference is that arch doesn't continue all the way through the glass. It is on both sides. It is made out of wood. It's painted white to match the wood window that we purchased. Again, it's not in kind, but it's a pretty close replication, and it's not vinyl. So we tried our best with the limited budget that the W House had due to their unfortunate circumstances.
Staff will note that given the fact that these are wide pieces, it's just not a thin button, that the fact that there's no wood on the interior of the glass, you're not going to see it anyway. So staff doesn't believe that's a particular issue in this particular case.
All right, so this is just applied to the glass on the exterior.
Right.
We did it on both sides, actually. We did the interior and the exterior, but it's not consistent through the glass.
Okay.
Okay.
And it is a
Cool.
simulated divided light, so the mullion in the middle does go through the glass. It's not an integral in between pane. It actually goes through the glass, and you can feel and touch it just like below.
All right, commission members?
I have no questions.
I have
I
no
have-
questions or comments.
Me either.
All right, it sounds like everybody's would be in agreement then. We'll entertain a motion for approval.
Which one of the motions do we read?
Certificate of appropriateness.
This is Bob, and I would, Mr. Chairman, I have inspected the project plans and the property in question, and if constructed in accordance with these plans, the project is compatible with the character of the district for the reasons that the windows are generally in harmony with the architectural design guidelines for the residential preservation districts or architectural design guidelines for the downtown historic district and the character of the adjoining property. Therefore, I move that the HDC grant a certificate of appropriateness to the applicant for case number HDC-2020-21.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All right, all three there. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, we'll get this signed back to you and should be good to go.
Thank you. Just a quick question. So this was the last item I needed to obtain my certificate of occupancy. I'm on a temporary until the beginning of July. Will this automatically go over and authorize that, or do I need to make another call or provide this document to someone?
We'll handle it internal. If there's anything else that's outstanding, we'll let you know.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
All right, moving on then. Next case up is HDC 2020-22 for 789 Hamilton Boulevard. Ms. French for Amanda Elliott, replacement windows for this property. Is
Mr. Chairman,
that particular applicant here?
Doesn't look like there's an applicant here.
All right,
Move on to the next one and maybe they'll join late.
okay. Next up is 906 Potomac Avenue. We have, all right. HDC case 20-23 for 906 Potomac Avenue. Stratton Sarah Kesey for front porch repairs. Okay. Applicant, if you can state your name and address for the record, please.
Scott and Sarah Kesey are here, 906 Potomac Avenue, Hagerstown, Maryland, 21742.
All right, thank you.
Okay, this is HDC case 2020-23. The applicants are Scott and Sarah Kesey. The property is located at 906 Potomac Avenue. Property is in the Oak Hill Historic District. Building is a fee resource. It contributes to the character of the district, but is not likely to qualify for National Register listing individually. Photographs of the property are shown on page 1 of your staff reports. The design guidelines that are applicable are pages 37, 40, and 41 of the residential guidelines. Description of work and plans. The applicants began making repairs to their front porch. When the elements were removed for replacement in kind, they discovered more significant deterioration than they had anticipated. They proposed to replace the 8-foot front porch columns and 2 pilasters with permacast structural fiberglass columns and pilasters on the same design and diameters as the originals. The change here is in material only, as the columns will be of the same dimension as existing. The applicant also proposes to replace the existing 39 feet of railing. Actually, I think it is 38 feet of railing, 2 10-foot sections on either side of the front steps and 2 9-foot sections on each of the left and right side of the porch, tying into the pilasters mounted on the front face of the house. The railing will appear to be the same design as the existing railing to be removed, but it will be made also of permacast material, the same material that the columns are made of. Staff recommendation, the design guidelines recommend replacing features with like material. However, the commission has occasionally approved the use of substitute materials when replacement with original material is unavailable, overly cost prohibitive, or would overly would be overly difficult to access for maintenance. This front porch sits back from the sidewalk approximately 30 feet. The applicant may still decide to replace the railings with wood, and if they decide to go that route, HDC review is not required for that work if it'll be a replacement in kind. However, they're here asking for part of their approval to allow the railings to be permacast, so if they go that route, then their approvals are in place. The porch floor and other details will be replaced in kind with wood, which does not require HDC review. Secretary Interior Standards 2, 5, and 9 apply. Also, we received a photograph from the Kesey's here real quick, real recently. They forwarded it to us, so we're posting it, of a permacast column on a property a couple blocks away. They can speak to more of that in detail. Staff had a staff meeting up until about 4:15, so I literally just got it like 15 minutes before the meeting, and I just forwarded it so we could get it loaded up for you. But they can speak to it in more detail than I could. So there you go.
All right. Anything to add?
I think that was a nice summary of what we're proposing. The column that's shown here is a few streets over from us. It's the material that we're proposing to use from the street. It doesn't look any different than any of the other, wood columns used by other houses.
Yeah, that's the same shape and texture design as the wooden ones that remain on the porch.
And for us,
this is for material only, that this particular design is fluted. So you're not looking at this particular example as an exact of what's going on. They're looking to have columns made that reflect the columns that are on their house, which are smooth, as opposed to these, which are fluted.
Same. This is just an example of the material. We can get the same design that is currently on the porch.
Okay. For the capitals as well as the base.
Correct.
Yes.
All right. Commission members, any concerns, comments?
No comments from me.
What is the permacast material? And I'm not familiar with that. And its longevity, and is it neat? Is it how the paint adheres? Could you just speak on that for a moment?
Yes, it's structural fiberglass. So it is more resilient than wood. What we experienced when we started our porch repairs was significant rot and deterioration in the wood columns that we had. So this material will withhold much longer than wood, and it also adheres paint in the same manner that wood does.
Michael, could you chime in there on that as well, as far as the material aspect?
What I'm looking at here from the literature, obviously the column, as long as it doesn't get split intact, it looks like it has the load-bearing capacity that would be needed. Fiberglass, we're seeing a lot of fiberglass being used because of limited maintenance. I wouldn't say it's maintenance free by any means, because you still got to keep things painted and keep the thing protected. But I think overall finished appearance, it would replicate it is a new material or newer material, but I think it does have the appearance and creates the appearance of the historic significance as opposed to just replacing in wood. Wood does, we're having a lot of situations in this area, obviously, with just wood rotting out over time. So, I think at some point in the future, we're seeing less and less of the the true woodwork, and folks that are able to really maintain that. So I think, MHT and others are going to soon have to, start amending some of it, because, things can be replicated in other materials that would have a little bit longer life than, say, the original material at this point. But, even the literature indicates that, to paint in lighter colors as opposed to painting in dark colors, because the fiberglass will warp over time, due to excessive heat. If, sun's beating on it, all day long, and you've got it painted, black of black in that sense. So I don't see an issue here. I mean, everything that's on the house, from the photographs, and as I recall, everything there is basically the woodwork on the exterior is white, so that should not be a problem in this particular instance.
And you don't have a concern about load bearing with fiberglass?
No, based on the capacities here, it'll handle basically 14,000 pounds maximum. So I mean, I don't see that porch roof carrying that kind of a weight at this point. So they should be good. Most wood's probably not rated for quite that type of loading.
Okay. Yeah, I was just concerned about that aspect of it. I think aesthetically, it's a nice replication, because I know how expensive it is to start getting those kind of columns. But I was concerned about just the load. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other concerns, comments from the commission members? I take it everybody's in agreement this one can move forward. If so, we'll entertain a motion for adoption.
I've got my sheet here. Mr. Chairman, I have inspected the project plans and the property in question, and if constructed in accordance with these plans, the project is compatible with the character of the district for the reasons that the materials, architectural detailing, general form and proportion are generally in harmony with the architectural design guidelines for the residential preservation design districts or architectural design guidelines for the downtown historic district and the character of the adjoining properties. Therefore, I move that the HDC grant a certificate of appropriateness to the applicant for case number 2020-23.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All right, any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, we appreciate your time. Should be good to go. We'll get the information back to the staff.
Michael,
very
now
much.
that you've voted on it, I have a question afterward. Are we going to get a copy of the Historic District Commission design review application for that case?
Yes, that was emailed out earlier this afternoon.
Don't have it.
You didn't get that?
Hold on a minute. No, I don't have it. The only thing I have is the picture that Steve sent out.
Okay, because it was issued about 1:30 here this afternoon. It's about 2 megs of information.
Okay, if someone would send that out again, I would appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, I've only gotten the picture and Steve's initial comments.
Did you get the staff report?
No,
just
nothing. Just a picture.
I received Debbie's revised agenda and the applicant's form.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, Debbie said that she did send it out, and Leslie said she got it, so.
Yeah, okay. Double check, make sure it didn't go to junk. at this point?
No,
it
it
was-
didn't go to, it didn't go to my spam.
Okay. Sometimes larger files may take a while to. You on Antietam?
Heck, no.
Okay. It may take a while to download. I've had that happen where sometimes it doesn't come through till after off hours, so to speak.
Debbie just resent it, so.
All right.
Okay, if I don't get it, I'll get in touch with Debbie.
Okay.
And just as an aside, this is the property that I sent you the email about last week that had the retaining wall that was failing. I didn't hear anything back from anybody, so everything's moving forward on that.
Very good.
All right.
Yeah, I just got it again, so
What they're
I'm
proposing
good.
when that wall is as close as that you're going to get on the current market. So I handled it administratively.
All right. I appreciate our athlete's time. Do we have the other case applicants online yet?
Let me check. No.
No, they did not show.
All right. We'll move
I am
on
on the phone.
then. All right, we're moving on to the next item of business, the workshops. There are none scheduled at this time. New business by commission members. The other applicants are free to go if your case is finished. You can leave the meeting if you so choose.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business, preservation awards.
Yeah, FYI, we're looking to have the preservation awards with the mayor and council on July 28th. As far as the list, we have a couple of them we wanted to discuss with you. I did not get a chance to go out and check the Bartell property in person. So if you still want to pursue that one, I can get out there before your next meeting. We can always tack them on. I mean, we're not doing the awards until July 28th, so we have time. So if you wanted to tack them on, well, you can tack them on now if you wanted to, or make a decision now, or if you wanted some additional time, we still have the meeting in early July. We can add them later. As far as the other ones, the West Urban Avenue, we run into a little bit of a problem with. They've done replacement windows without HTC approval, and we're thinking that's probably not a good idea to draw attention to this property when they have announced what appears to be a possible violation of the ordinance. And since it's only a fence, we're thinking just leave it off.
Okay. All right, any comments from commission members?
I agree with Steve's comment about the windows being in violation.
Okay. And then one thing we wanted to do is, since you're kind of trying to figure out how to work with it on the Mulberry Lofts, we wanted to bring up Google Street View and show you the before and after photos of the building. Basically, there are historic photographs on Google Street View of what the building looked like before the renovation started. So you can get an idea of, well, this is the before.
Here we go.
This is what it looked like before. You see the more industrial metal windows. It wasn't painted. And then we can now go to a more contemporary version. That's what it looks like. So we just wanted to show you before and afters for you to decide whether or not this is something you view as appropriate for a historic preservation award. They are getting a Highlight Hagerstown Award, is my understanding, coming up for renovations, different kind of standards, although we don't have any official adopted standards. But we just wanted to show you the before and after photographs of what's obviously a very nicely renovated building, or whether or not you want to include it as a historic preservation award or not.
All right, commission members? Everybody okay with the
Yeah.
preservation
Yeah.
award for this property?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so move forward is what you're saying?
Sounds like commission's agreeable to that, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then we go over the list, make sure everybody is clear on it, and if everybody's in agreement. You have the Maryland Theater expansion. We have Barberingham School for the Arts expansion. We have the Independent Junior Fire Company bell tower rehab on North Potomac Street. We have the former.
I'm
You were gonna say something, Leslie?
Yes, I didn't know if we were waiting till the end before we make comments.
Let me just go through the list and then you can discuss them as you see fit. We have the firehouse at West Franklin Street, the former Pioneer Hook and Ladder building. We are holding off on Moeller. Then we have the addition to the Schmegel Stoop. And then we have the former Massey building on East Baltimore Street, which is now a record store. The Mount Etna Cannon rehab and mounting over there at City Park, and Mulberry Lofts. And that's what we have, with the exception of 17 East Avenue, the Mark Bartel property, which again, you can discuss now if you wanted, or if you wanted to, you can hold off. I can get the other awards in process and you can make a decision at your next meeting whether or not to do something with Bartel.
I have a question. Has Mark Bartel ever came back to us about the removal of that chimney?
He fixed it. He fixed it instead. And withdrew the application.
Okay.
Yes, I think that the firehouse on North Potomac should wait until it's completed, and the rest of the items except for Bartel, I am okay with.
This is Bob, and I agree with Leslie on that comment.
All right. How far along is the firehouse on Potomac? I mean, I know they were doing some other work. I didn't know how far along they were.
They have intention of completing the full facade renovation. It's been delayed a bit due to a couple of factors, which it was a privileged conversation I can't go into here. But it is Doug Carroll's intention to pick the project back up and move forward. We was hoping to have it done by now, but certain things got in the way, and he's looking to pick it back up relatively soon. It should be completed within the year, is my understanding. I can get more detail on that if you want.
Okay. All right, so sounds like commission members will hold off on that particular project.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, do we need a formalized motion on that or not?
No, not really. If that's the consensus, we can move forward with that. Is Bartel just a no, or do you want me to get some pictures and bring it back to you at the next meeting for consideration?
I would prefer pictures the next meeting if possible.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. We'll make sure that happens. What I actually may do is I may take the pictures and email them out to you. And if there's no discussion of any consequence or dissent, we may just, if I don't get any objection from you all about adding it, we may just do that administratively. But if somebody says, let's talk about it, when I send out the photograph, say, hey, let's wait to talk about it at the next meeting, we'll just wait.
Okay.
That's
All
fine.
right.
All right. Anything else on preservation awards?
No?
All right. Any other old business that we haven't talked about?
This is something for Steve. My
Yes.
wife and I were driving down South Potomac Street today, and there were kids standing up on the fountain at Memorial Park. Maybe you could make a note to Parks and Rec about that.
They were standing up in the middle of it.
Oh yeah, nice little wading pond.
Yeah, were they in the lower pool, or were they on that top table?
They were on the top table.
Okay.
That's all I have.
I'll let Parks and Rec know.
Okay. All right. If there's no other old business, any announcements?
In-person meetings start up again next month. Bring masks.
Yay!
Thank God.
Masks are required.
And we are in mayor and council chamber, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Anything else? Any other business needs to be brought before the commission? I guess, HDC case 2020-22 will be basically tabled until the next meeting.
Yeah, we need a motion for that, please.
All right. Is there a motion to table HDC case 2020-22 for the next meeting?
I so motion 2020-22 to be postponed until the next meeting.
All right.
I'll second it. Leslie
All right.
can have the second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to table the HDC case 2020-22 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right. Anything else? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Sounds like it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Appreciate everybody's attendance, and we'll see
Thank you.
on tonight.
Oh, joy, in-person meetings next time. Love it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Take care, folks.
Goodbye, all.
Bye-bye.